So in a previous video, we talked about the most powerful way to deal with an objection is to just avoid it, and do your homework up front, understand what's of value to the customer so that when you present your solution, they see how it connects to what's important to them and they see the value of it. You know what the budget is, so there's no mystery there. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, though, it's going to happen, those price objections. So let's talk about when it does. And I think it's important to remember that an objection is just a question with some tension. So, you're going to get that feeling when it comes up, but just remember that the customer needs to know for a good reason. So if you can diffuse the tension and clarify to what's important to them, a lot of times you can overcome those objections.
That's right. And so clarify, the word you used, is really the first tip. Mm-hmm. Right. So many people, the salespeople, they jump over the just get a bigger understanding of why that price point is, it's sort of there's tension around that price point. We jump over and we immediately go back, or certainly we don't want to discount, but immediately we would go back to restating value. So clarifying what's behind that comment. Mm-hmm. So simple discovery questions like, tell me more about how this is landing to you, and what's going on there. What should I know about this price point and its importance to you?
And I think it's having the problem-solving attitude that it really makes a difference when you get to the point where you have to deal with an objection, right? Get the question behind the question. What is really going on with the customer? And have the attitude of, okay, well, maybe the price point where we are at no longer is a value to the client. So what can we do? Is it a situation where we can take a couple things away? How can we be flexible to be able to meet the customer where the customer is at?
You change the scope, maybe.
Right, change the scope of the project.
Right, especially if they're really hard and fast on it. Sometimes when they share what the dynamic is behind that price point, it's still a good opportunity to say, well, I want to revisit what your objectives are here.
Right.
What are we trying to solve and get after? And help find consensus with them that this solution does, in fact, make sense for their objectives.
Or has something else changed that you need to know about that might change your solution, the scope of your solution as well.
Yep.
So I think another thing to keep in mind is, just taking that breath when that comes up, because you put all of this work into your proposal, but it's about helping the customer. So taking a breath and trying to understand, and please don't be cheesy. I mean, that's one of the things that just drives me crazy. I mean, I actually had a contractor recently ask me, well, is price really going to get in the way of what you want? And yes, or what will it take to get your business? Those things come across as salesy and techniquey, and we always want to keep our problem-solving consultative hats on through this whole process.
And so if you're there to meet their needs, whatever this situation is, and you've put this thought process and this concept together for them, I think at that moment, what is the opposite of cheesy? It's asking them, where would you like to go from here? How can we help make this come about for you? Yes. So it gets back to that creativity, right?
Yeah, the problem-solving attitude that you want to have, so it's a win for you and it's a win for the customer.
Right. So to summarize, we talked earlier about how critical it is to do your homework up front to avoid objections. But when they happen, pause, take a breath, make sure you're listening to the customer, you're clarifying what's really at issue here, you're doing some additional discovery where necessary, and you're being consultative and getting their input in terms of scope and how to move forward.